Most people never notice when their authority begins to weaken. There is no argument, no confrontation, no clear turning point. It fades quietly. Usually, it begins with something that feels harmless, explaining yourself. From early on, people are taught that explanation is a sign of intelligence, that explaining shows honesty, that if others understand your reasons, respect will follow. This belief feels reasonable. It feels mature. It feels safe. But power does not operate on comfort. It operates on perception. An explanation is never neutral. It is always a response. And the moment you respond, something shifts. When you explain yourself, you acknowledge pressure. You may not feel it. You may not intend it, but the signal is sent. You silently accept that someone else has the right to question you. Authority does not come from being understood. It comes from being internally settled. People who carry real authority do not rush to clarify themselves. They do not panic when misunderstood. They do not feel urgency when silence follows their decisions. They allow uncertainty to exist. Uncertainty creates weight. When nothing is explained, the human mind becomes active. It searches for meaning. It fills gaps. It begins to assume. And the human mind dislikes uncertainty more than disagreement. Disagreement can be challenged. Uncertainty must be endured. This is why silence feels heavier than argument. When you do not explain yourself, others are forced to interpret you without guidance. Some assume confidence. Some assume strategy. Some assume depth. Some feel unsettled. None of these reactions weaken your position. Machiavellian psychology is not about manipulation. It is about understanding how power is perceived. Hierarchy is rarely announced. It is sensed. People feel authority before they name it. And perception does not reward those who speak the most. It rewards those who remain composed under pressure. Every explanation reveals something internal, a hesitation, a doubt, a need to be accepted. Even when the explanation is logical, even when it is correct. Correctness does not create authority. Certainty does. When explanations become frequent, something subtle changes. People stop responding to your presence and start responding to your words. Words invite evaluation. Presence commands attention. This is why silence changes the balance of power. When you speak less, others begin to fill the space. They ask more questions. They clarify their intentions. They reveal what they think. You do not have to push for information. Silence pulls it out naturally. This is how restraint becomes leverage. Most people explain themselves to control perception. They want to be seen correctly. They want to avoid misunderstanding. But the need to be seen correctly often comes from insecurity, not strength. Strength allows room for misunderstanding, because misunderstanding does not threaten a solid position. Only uncertainty threatens a weak one. When you stop explaining, people begin to test you. They challenge lightly. They probe indirectly. They wait for a reaction. This is not confrontation. It is measurement. They are measuring whether your silence is temporary or whether it is stable. If you break and explain, the test is over. If you remain calm, the dynamic shifts. Stability signals confidence. Confidence does not need confirmation. It does not need reassurance. It does not need to defend itself. Machiavellian psychology understands that power is reinforced, not through response, but through consistency. Consistency of behavior, consistency of tone, consistency of restraint. When people realize that pressure does not move you, they stop applying it. Not because they agree with you, but because it no longer works. This is how authority forms, quietly, not through dominance, not through argument, through predictability of composure. When your reactions become predictable in one way only, calm, measured, unmoved, others adjust around you. They lower their voice. They choose their words. They hesitate before pushing further. Hesitation is the beginning of respect, not admiration, not approval. Respect. Silence also changes how people read your intentions. When you explain yourself, your intentions become visible, and visible intentions invite judgment. People begin to decide whether your reasons are acceptable, whether they agree, whether they approve. The moment approval enters the interaction, authority begins to slip. Silence removes that approval cycle. When you stay silent, intentions remain unclear, and unclear intentions create distance. Distance is not coldness. Distance is respect forming. This is why individuals with authority rarely reveal their full reasoning, not because they are hiding, but because exposure weakens position. The more people understand your internal process, the easier it becomes to challenge you. Silence protects that process. It keeps you unreadable. Unreadability slows others down. When people cannot predict your response, they become careful. They calculate. They observe. They wait. Waiting shifts power. Machiavellian psychology is built on this principle. Power is not taken aggressively. It is granted through adaptation. Others adapt when they sense stability. Stability is shown through restraint. Most people react quickly because they fear losing control. They believe silence equals loss. In reality, reaction is loss. Reaction gives away tempo. The person who controls tempo controls the interaction. When you explain yourself too quickly, you give tempo to the other person. You let them set the pace. You let them decide when the conversation moves on. Silence keeps tempo with you. You decide when to speak. You decide if speaking is necessary at all. This control is felt immediately, even if nothing is said. People begin to mirror your pace. They slow down. They choose words more carefully. They stop interrupting. This change is subtle, but it marks a clear shift in hierarchy. Not because you asserted power, but because you refused to leak it. Silence also reshapes how people judge your confidence. Most people believe confidence sounds like certainty expressed aloud. They associate it with clear explanations, firm statements, and quick answers. But real confidence is not loud. It is steady. Steadiness shows when there is no rush to justify, no urgency to clarify, no need to fill every gap. When you remain silent under pressure, people sense self-control. Self-control suggests inner authority. Inner authority does not depend on agreement. It exists even when others disagree. This is why silence feels heavier than explanation. Explanation tries to align opinions. Silence assumes position. When you explain yourself, You invite others to join the discussion about your choices. When you stay silent, your choices remain settled. Others must decide how to respond to that settlement. People do not challenge what feels fixed. They challenge what feels responsive. Responsiveness feels cooperative, but it also feels negotiable. Negotiability weakens presence. Silence removes negotiability. It communicates that not every question will be answered. Not every doubt will be addressed. Not every challenge will receive a response. This boundary is rarely spoken, yet it is clearly felt. And felt boundaries are stronger than verbal ones. Those who depend on access to feel secure often react strongly to silence. They press for explanations. They demand clarity. They escalate their tone. This reaction is revealing. It shows who relies on control through conversation. When you do not comply, you deny them that control. Without confrontation, your position rises. Machiavellian psychology recognizes that power often grows, not through action, but through non-reaction. The ability to remain unmoved, while others seek movement, is one of the clearest signals of authority. Silence creates that signal naturally. It requires no performance, no assertion, no display, only restraint. Over time, silence teaches people how to treat you. When you explain less, people ask less. When you react less, people push less. Not because they agree with you, but because pressure stops working. This is how authority settles. It is not enforced. It is accepted. People stop expecting access to your reasoning. They stop demanding reassurance. They stop testing boundaries. They adapt. Adaptation is respect forming quietly. Machiavellian psychology understands that power is preserved by limiting exposure. The less you reveal unnecessarily, the less others can challenge. Every explanation gives something away. Every justification opens a door. Silence keeps doors closed. It protects position without confrontation. It preserves strength without display. This does not mean never speaking. It means speaking with intention. When you speak, it ends discussion rather than invites it, because silence before speech gave your words weight. The strongest individuals are not those who dominate conversations. They are those who do not need to. They do not chase understanding. They do not seek approval. They do not rush to be seen as reasonable. They remain composed. And composition is power. So, before you explain yourself next time, pause. Ask whether the explanation is necessary, or whether silence would do more. Because power does not announce itself loudly. It does not argue for its place. It remains, and silence is how it stays intact.